Welcome to Business Review, a daily program that delves into the latest and most significant economic stories. From stock markets to currency news, Business Review covers the most up-to-date stories in the global financial world.
Oakland, California's Farley East brought back workers in April thanks to a government loan, but the small business is really being kept afloat by a non-profit paying the eatery to provide charity lunches. Employees at Farley's East Cafe in Oakland, California are glad to be back at work, but instead of churning out loads of $4.50 lattes and $13 whole earth protein bowls, they're using assembly line-like precision to put together about 200 sandwich lunch plates a day to give out free of charge. Thanks to funding from Washington, D.C.-based non-profit World Central Kitchen, Farley East is prepping these turkey, ham, and egg salad sandwiches to hand out to healthcare workers. Eatery co-owner Chris Hilliard says the charity work has actually provided a financial rescue for Farley's East since it reopened. The situation highlights a growing dilemma facing small businesses across the country. It received a $221,000 loan as part of the Payroll Protection Program created by Congress in response to the crisis. The money helped pay for the 16 employees that Hilliard has rehired, but without the full return of its customers, the future remains sketchy. And with states like California curtailing reopenings, small businesses like this one could face another downturn, leading to a fresh wave of layoffs. But for now, Farley's East will keep on making charity sandwiches, hoping that doing good will provide the bridge it needs to stay alive until the diners return.
To eliminate the risk of contagious human beings, a Mexican company has launched a drone delivery service to get clean medical supplies to hospitals during the coronavirus pandemic. Mexico City-based firm Syncronia Logistica has begun deploying unmanned drones to deliver personal protective gear and other essential equipment to public hospitals in the central state of Querétaro, north of the capital. Mexican healthcare workers have staged protests nationwide over the lack of personal protective equipment. The drones help stem the spread of the novel coronavirus by allowing for quick, contact-free drop-offs. The innovation comes as the pandemic has surged in Mexico to give the country the sixth highest death toll worldwide, with some 28,510 confirmed COVID-19 fatalities. The company says it has used drones to deliver donations of antibacterial gel, face masks, gloves, 3D printed face shields, and other basic supplies for healthcare workers. Doctors value the service, said Juana Angelica Garcia, director of the Il Marquez Public Hospital in the city of Querétaro, the state capital.
The EU's chief executive said the next 6 months under the German presidency of the European Union will be crucial for the bloc's future, warning that delays on agreeing a recovery fund will cost jobs. As her country took to the helm of the bloc, the German Chancellor Angela Merkel urged European Union leaders to reach an agreement on a multi-billion euro coronavirus recovery fund. With almost 35,000 deaths from COVID-19 recorded in Italy alone, lockdowns across most of the European Union have shuttered businesses. A Commission proposal for a $843.8 billion rescue fund has been largely welcomed by EU leaders, but must still be agreed, and fiscally conservative northern countries led by the Netherlands are loath to see their taxpayers pay for grants to southern European states. Earlier officials said Britain and the EU had failed to make progress in talks in post-Brexit relations this week due to major differences, and had called off a one-on-one meeting between their chief negotiators David Frost and Michel Barnier. Von der Leyen said the 27-member bloc wanted a deal but not at any price, and added that the EU should also prepare for any other outcome. Although the rotating six-month presidency gives only limited power as Europe's most respected leader, Merkel faces huge expectations that she can negotiate a breakthrough on the recovery fund and a new 2021 to 2027 budget for the bloc.
A UN-led report found that the world dumped a record 53.6 million tons of e-waste last year. Just 17.4% was recycled. The Global E-Waste Monitor 2020 report found that China, with 10.1 million tons, was the biggest contributor to e-waste, and the United States was second with 6.9 million tons. India, with 3.2 million tons, was third. Together, these three countries accounted for nearly 38% of the world's e-waste last year. Global warming is just one issue cited by the report, as it noted 98 million tons of carbon dioxide equivalents were released into the atmosphere as a result of inadequate recycling of undocumented refrigerators and air conditioners. This year's coronavirus lockdowns have exacerbated the e-waste problem. What is happening in India and China is symptomatic of a wider problem in developing countries, where demand for goods like washing machines, refrigerators, and air conditioners is rising rapidly. Dinesh Raj Bandela, Deputy Program Manager at the Center for Science and Environment, a New Delhi-based research and advocacy body, said India's focus on e-waste had to go beyond collection, and manufacturers should be encouraged to produce consumer goods that last longer and are less toxic. Although India is the only country in South Asia to draft legislation for e-waste, its collection remains rudimentary.
Iranians said their foreign exchange market had been hit by the pandemic and US sanctions, added that it was better to invest in domestic products after their currency fell to historic lows. Iran's central bank injected hundreds of millions of dollars to stabilize the currency market after the Iranian rial sunk to its lowest level last week. A foreign exchange market worker said he didn't think that the market would return to normal for the next year. He said one of the reasons for the increase in the exchange rate is the imposing of sanctions. The coronavirus crisis has exacerbated economic problems in Iran that worsened after US President Donald Trump withdrew in 2018 from the Iran nuclear deal. Iran's President Hassan Rouhani has said the country has revenue from other sources, and he's certain the central bank could control any problems with the rial.
Europe's Airbus left the door open to scaling back its planned 15,000 job cuts in exchange for government-funded labor schemes and research as its coronavirus restructuring stoked political and union alarm. Europe's largest aerospace group plans to cut 11% of its global workforce after a 40% slump in its $61.8 billion jet business, sparking anxiety about compulsory redundancies in France, Germany, Spain, and Britain. In a finely balanced presentation, Airbus announced their plans to cut 5,000 posts in France, 5,100 in Germany, 900 in Spain, 1,700 in the UK, and 1,300 elsewhere by mid-2021. Veteran Human Resources Chief Terry Barrell told reporters that a fifth of the 5,000 job cuts targeted in France could be saved once the French government formalizes a new reduced work scheme, a move expected next week. Another 500 engineering posts could be saved with the help of promised state investment in the next generation green jets. France urged Airbus to make as few forced layoffs as possible, while French and German unions said compulsory cuts at the European plane maker were a red line.
Business Review, your daily source for the most critical stories in the financial world. Tune in next time for the latest financial news impacting the world economy.